Our story is called The Colorful Four Crew. Once upon a time, in a school called Little River Elementary, four kids always seemed to get into trouble together. They weren't bad kids. They just had very different ways of doing things. Their teacher, Ms. Taylor, liked to call them the Colorful Four Crew. Red Robbie was loud, bold, and loved to be in charge. If you didn't know what to do, Robbie would shout, "Follow me," even if he had no plan at all. Yellow Yasmin was bubbly, funny, and could make friends with a rock. She was full of ideas, at least 10 ideas per minute. The problem was, she almost never finished any of them. Green George was calm, steady, and liked everything to stay the same. He never rushed, never panicked, and preferred cozy, safe routines. Blue Bella was precise, careful, and always had a ruler, calculator, and notebook in her backpack. She wanted everything perfect and got annoyed when things were messy. One day, Ms. Taylor gave them a special task. "Class," she said, "this Friday is the school fair. Every group must make a booth. You four will work together." Red Robbie jumped up and shouted, "Yes, we're going to make the best booth ever. Maybe a rocket booth, or a dunk tank, or a puppy petting zoo," added Yellow Yasmin, bouncing in her chair. "Or a booth where you can dress like pirates and throw bananas." "Bananas," whispered Blue Bella, horrified. She had already pulled out her notebook. "We should make a list. Step 1, decide on a theme. Step 2, gather supplies. Step 3 is to take a nap," interrupted Green George. "I think we should do something simple. Maybe a quiet reading booth, nice and relaxing." The four of them stared at each other. Oh, they went to the art room to start planning. That's when the arguing began. "I'm the leader," shouted Red Robbie. "No, I'm the leader," shouted Yellow Yasmin, juggling 3 paintbrushes. "There should be no leader," said Green George, yawning. "We should all just relax." "There has to be a leader," insisted Blue Bella, "but it should be the one with the most accurate chart, which is me." The art teacher walked by and saw glue, glitter, and arguments flying everywhere. She backed out of the room slowly. Since they couldn't agree, each of them decided to make their own booth. Red Robbie made a booth where kids had to climb a rope and ring a giant bell. But it was so hard that most kids fell down and cried. Robbie shouted, "Try harder," which didn't help. Yellow Yasmin made a booth where you could put on silly hats, eat cookies, and dance to loud music. It was fun for about 3 minutes until she got distracted and wandered off, leaving frosting everywhere. Green George made a nap-time tent. It was soft, cozy, and full of pillows. But soon, the kids didn't want to leave. The principal had to drag 3 students out because they refused to get up. Blue Bella made a booth where you had to answer math questions and measure triangles. The few kids who tried it ran away screaming, "This is too hard." By the end of the day, all 4 booths were disasters. Back in the classroom, the crew exploded. "Abby, your booth was too hard." "Well, Yasmin, yours was too messy." "George, nobody should be sleeping at a fair." "And Bella, you turned it into homework." "Ah," groaned Robbie. "It's like I'm surrounded by kids who don't understand me." They all crossed their arms and refused to look at each other. Ms. Taylor walked in and saw the gloomy faces. She smiled gently. "That's not true, Robbie," she said. "You're surrounded by differently colored personalities. Robbie, you're red, so you like action. Yasmin, you're yellow, you bring fun. George, you're green and you bring calm. Bella, you're blue, you bring order." The kids blinked. But alone, each color is missing something. Ms. Taylor continued, "A rainbow only shines when all the colors work together. Am I right?" The 4 colorful personalities decided to try again, but this time by mixing their strengths. Robbie used his energy to set up the booth quickly. Yasmin decorated it with balloons, glitter, and jokes to make it exciting. George made sure there were cozy chairs so the kids wouldn't get overwhelmed. Bella organized everything into neat sections and made sure the rules were clear. Their booth became the ultimate gaming zone. First, the kids had to throw rings, Robbie's idea. Then they could wear a funny hat and take a picture, Yasmin's idea. After that, they got a short rest on a beanbag chair, George's idea. Finally, they received a neat little prize ticket, which was Bella's idea. It was a hit. Kids lined up all around the gym. Parents cheered. Even the principal wore a chicken hat and sat on a beanbag chair. At the end of the fair, Ms. Taylor announced, the Best Booth Award goes to, drumroll please, the colorful 4 crew. Even though Bella complained that it was wrinkling her shirt, the kids hugged. Robbie laughed. Okay, maybe I wasn't surrounded by kids who don't understand me. Yasmin giggled. Just surrounded by silly friends. George yawned. We need a break after our celebration. Bella sighed. Okay, I'll put that on my agenda today. Everyone laughed. And from that day on, whenever they got annoyed with each other, they remembered the school fair. Red brings action, yellow brings fun, green brings calm, and blue brings order. Together, they're unstoppable. Remember, there are no right or wrong color personalities. The end.